say the monsoon rains have been the heaviest in 3 years. The weather is expected to ease from Thursday.
Yeah, this is Philippines still. Get out of here.
For him? Right? Here you go. Alright, this is Apperson, and the water is touching the bottom of the bridge.
Couldn't tell we're in the American floods now. United States, I mean.
Wow, all these houses up here are completely flooded. Wow. Look at you, ain't gonna believe this. The house is flooded out.
Wow, he's right. Look at that. Jeez.
Hey, there's a boat down there. Stuck on a trailer.
Oh, this one's in Indiana, by the way. This was in April.
As an epic deluge of rain has swamped Kokomo, swelling the Wildcat Creek to its highest level in decades, the city of Kokomo urges residents to take precautions. Nearly every area of the city has been impacted by the flood, but some have been hit harder than others. The flooding has shut down numerous streets on Friday morning.
That storm stalling yesterday hurt us a lot, because if it had kept moving fast, it wouldn't have been a problem, but it just, we watch the weather and we just prepare for it.
Oklahoma.
Deadly tornadoes have once again hit Oklahoma, just 11 days after twisters devastated the area. At least 5 people have been killed in the storm, including a mother and baby whose car was swept up by a tornado. Widespread flooding has left parts of the city submerged after torrential rain. Television images showed downed power lines and tossed cars, leaving motorists stranded. Hospitals say they're treating over 50 people for storm-related injuries, while electricity companies say over 170,000 people are without power.
Emergency crews spent many hours rescuing drivers who became stranded after they drove into flooded areas. On the lower level of I-35's, crews checked all submerged vehicles to make sure no one was in them. At Bassey and McCullough, a Via bus became overwhelmed by floodwaters. Our Sky 4 flew over the scene and showed that a hatch on the roof of the bus was open. That hatch looked to be the only escape route. On the west side, floodwaters swallowed one car at Highway 90 and Penn Road. You can barely see the roof of it there in the center of your screen. At 90 and 151, another driver was forced to leave this car in the water. Leon Creek turned into a raging river after all the rainfall, and it wasn't just people escaping the rushing water. Look at this. This lizard and some cockroaches hitched a ride on a couch as it floated on Salado Creek at I-35.
A squall line shortly before 9 a.m. brought wind strong enough to flip over this empty hauler being towed along Christie Drive in Jefferson City. It smacked another vehicle, but everyone walked away. It was scary, but it was over quick. Afterward, there was... And then there was... And then... so much water that parking lots turned into lakes and small creeks became...
I've seen it high, but never where the road was closed like this.
In Fulton, Stinson Creek turned into the Stinson Rapids in a matter of minutes. The water threatened but did not flood some housing authority apartments. This was the first flash flood here since the construction of the roundabout at the intersection of Business Highway 54 and 2nd Street. Does this happen every time there's a hard rain?
No, this doesn't. It has to rain substantial amount to get this bad.
And it would be worse if the roundabout wasn't there?
Yes. Yes, it would.
While the roundabout stayed above water, the roadways feeding into it went under. That was a major traffic control headache for Fulton police. Give you some concern?
Well, I don't know about concern. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Since it's a small town, we don't get much excitement.
A very different kind of natural disaster, deadly flooding in the Midwest. There are states of emergency and disaster declarations in at least half a dozen states right now, and ABC's Alex Perez has the latest.
Mother Nature's wrath across the Midwest has been relentless. Near Indianapolis today, one man is dead, another missing after their cars were swept away by floodwaters. In Zionsville, Indiana, flooded homeowners are battling to get the water out.
It's in our kitchen, in our dining room, and going up through the rest of the house.
Heavy rains have hammered the heartland all week. Many forced to evacuate their homes. In River Grove, Illinois, canoes replaced cars. Parts of Illinois saw a record 8 inches of rain on Thursday, completely submerging parts of Chicago. Here at this city park, there is so much water, you can't tell where the pool ends or where the park begins. Sandbag after sandbag, entire communities are working to keep the water out. But with the Mississippi and at least 17 other rivers at or near flood levels, this fight is far from over. Alex Perez, ABC News, Chicago.
I hereby declare a state of emergency for the city of Grand Rapids.
Tonight, a state of emergency in Grand Rapids as the Grand River continues to swell and again is expected to crest tomorrow. Flooding already causing problems at 3 major Grand Rapids hotels. 24-hour News 8's Danny Carlson is live tonight telling us how the hotels are dealing with all of that water. Danny?
Larry, the hotels are pumping out thousands of gallons of water each minute from all of their basements. And actually, the fact that those downtown hotels have been flooding is part of the reason that the mayor says he decided to declare a state of emergency today, when yesterday he said that it wasn't needed. Now today he cited concerns about electricity in those flooded buildings and even the electrical structure of the entire downtown area, saying that that's part of the reason why he thinks a state of emergency needed to be declared. Now we've been telling you, officials are asking people to stay away from the big water, but we can tell you today the big water drew big crowds downtown. Dozens gathered on bridges, steps, anywhere they could see history in the making. History taking the form of a nearly overflowing Grand River, and the other Grand in town, the Amway Grand, pumping out thousands of gallons of water a minute from the basement.
We do a lot of construction dewatering as far as this flood, stuff like this. I mean, I think everybody in Grand Rapids can say they've never seen the river this high. So, Mother Nature is an amazing thing sometimes.
That water that has now plagued the JW Marriott, the Amway Grand, Plaza Towers, and the Courtyard by Marriott is caused by the fact that the river is so high, it's actually building up water pressure in the groundwater and pushing that water up into downtown buildings. And if these industrial pumps hadn't been going 24/7 for about the past day and a half, the basements of both of the 2 flagship hotels would be underwater by now. Was there ever any idea that the groundwater pressure would get this high, that it would actually be coming up into so many downtown buildings?
Yeah, anybody living here in 1904 would have known that. I don't know whether we could have better anticipated this. It'll be something that we'll certainly be looking at as we do our post-flood assessments and, what we might have done differently.
Now, the mayor also saying today that the state of emergency declaration doesn't mean free money for the city of Grand Rapids. Basically, what it means is now the city will be put on a list, so to speak, that if there is a need for extra funding, if there is a disaster that causes extreme damage, even more than we've seen already, the city of Grand Rapids may be eligible for state and or federal funding. Now, that state of emergency is expected to last in the city of Grand Rapids for 7 days, unless it is extended for some reason. Live in Grand Rapids tonight, Danny Carlson, 24-hour News 8.